Let's go, grinders, it's time! Hit that like button, share it out! Oh, you're in for a treat!
That the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. Living boy, but they see where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in there. Damn man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Working for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have them yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Facts, lot of haters. Tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stacks, yo. Woo! Everybody wanna do the same thing. Yup, that's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah. I'm going mainstream. Damn. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream.
Und die instrumental bands, we embark on a wild escapade, dancing to the rhythm of the dark arcade. Grindhouse gears making everything bang. Bass drops heavy, the beat keeps us hanging in this eating realm. We're locked in the groove, dancing to the dark like we move. Oh yeah.
Yo, grinders! How's everybody doing? What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing out there? Gaming Grindhouse. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. What a day. New music. Yo, it's rocking. So, I was going to do a show yesterday, but unfortunately, I had my voice, man. Allergies. It was hoarse. So, might have been from the show before. Who the hell knows? But, we're gonna have things to talk about. You know, things I've been kind of thinking about, putting things together. Talking about this whole ABK deal, and I found the topic that I wanted to speak on from the Bootleg Jez's show when he was talking about this ABK deal, and then I was thinking about the things that are going on, and then we did see today Boosteroid, our favorite booster. Yes, getting that 10-year deal. The future. Subscriptions for subscriptions. Oh my goodness. We'll talk about that. That is some silly stuff right now. I don't know what kind of model these people think that they're doing, but I have no clue. I have no clue who thinks that this is a lucrative or even a beneficial business. And then, of all the clouds, True Virgil, you came in at a perfect time. Because of all the 10-year deals, you know, when we talk about Boosteroid, we got to talk about the biggest cloud service that was denied the 10-year deal. You know who I'm talking about. True is close to them. We know, right? We know when we talk about Boosteroid Cloud. So let me bring that up. The Boosteroid Cloud, we know who we're missing. We know who we're missing, right? Because that 10-year deal was with Boosteroid. So let's go see about that 10-year deal. This will get us kickstarted what's going on here. So Microsoft was proud to talk about their deal here with their cloud deal. This is part of the Activision ABK deal. And the reason why I bring this up is because this is a very big component in the accelerator, as Phil said. Phil said it. I didn't say it. Phil said it. Phil Ness said it. He said Activision allows them to accelerate on what they want to do. So, where is it? Phil Ness, where'd you put it? Where'd you put it, Phil? I had it right here. But hit that like button, grinders, as you're coming on in here. Here it is right here. Found it. Without further ado, here we go. And I will share my screen. And let's go. There we go. Let me lower this feedback. It's like distracting me. My mic monitoring here. There we go. That thing is distracting me. All right, let's go. Here it is. A big announcement. Way to go, Phil. Here it is. From the ABK deal, when the CMA put the kibosh, Microsoft went scrambling. And they made 10-year deals with anybody who was breathing. And one of them happened to be Boosteroid. You know them.
Yes? I'm trying to find a Turboman doll. Me too. Do you have any more in the back?
Stop! Enough!
You know Booster.
You know what? Nobody likes you, Booster.
Well, apparently Microsoft liked Booster because they signed the deal with Boosteroid. Xbox games from Microsoft Store and Game Pass are available on Boosteroid. In March last year, we announced a 10-year partnership with Boosteroid to bring Xbox PC games to more players around the world. This is another step in their partnership. They are now starting today having Deathloop, Dishonored, Dishonored 2, Dishonored, Death of the Outsider, who dat? Gears 5, Gears Tactics, oh boy. Yeah, Gears Tactics, oh goodness. Ghostwire Tokyo and Pentiment. Which is so funny is that Gears Tactics was a PC exclusive game. Because anyway, Gears Tactics was a PC exclusive game and now they're just shipping it out all over the place. They don't care. They're like, yep, it's everywhere. Let's put it everywhere. Gears Tactics on the cloud. Enjoy that one. And then cross-play and cross-save features. But what struck me in this deal was how to get started. Grinders, how do we get started with this? Well, to get started, first, you need to get through the Microsoft Game Store, either via PC Game Pass, $10 a month, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, $17 a month, or just buy the game in the Microsoft Store. But you're not done there. Now, you got to take your money, now go to Boosteroid and pay Boosteroid $10, $14 a month to access the game on Boosteroid. So that is a subscription for a subscription. That is something else. Who thinks that... and this is the thing. It's not like Boosteroid is available on other devices. Boosteroid is on PC. xCloud is on PC. Who would sign up for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and then also sign up for Boosteroid? I don't understand this.
Where's the lamb sauce?
Well, it is redundancy. Are they really trying to prey on the ignorance of people? It's like, oh, Booster. What does Boosteroid have? Xbox, you're putting your games on Boosteroid. Who thought this was a great idea? Sign up $17 a month for Microsoft and then sign up for Boosteroid to gain access to the games that you're subscribing to that you really don't own. This was and then guess what? This is for 10 years. A 10-year deal.
Oh, and second us too.
Holy 10 years.
Are coming fast. 12 minutes and Hades. And they're all on
A sub for a sub. Let's go visit Boosteroid. Here we come, boosters. What is a booster? What is a booster? Look at this. It's even worse than the PS5 cloud. It streams at 1080p. Boosteroid is a cloud gaming platform with 2-click access to high video games, brings positive emotions and experiences. I don't know. Play your favorite games at 60 frames, 1080p on PC, laptop, tablet, Android, and even a phone. Where's xCloud available? It's on every friggin' Windows PC and computer. What kind of deal is this? How does Boosteroid work? How much is Boosteroid? Booster. How do we subscribe to Boosteroid? Let's see. Boosters. How much are you, Boost? You should subscribe to Aiden? This. Who wants a subscription for a subscription? Now, apparently Boosteroid does also your Steam stuff, like NVIDIA, right? So Booster, if you buy Gears, now hear this. You want to hear some crazy stuff? You're gonna get a headache after I tell you how this thing goes. So apparently, if you buy Gears 5 on Steam and sign up for Boosteroid, you could play it because it brings your Steam library to Boosteroid, similar to NVIDIA. Now, however, if you buy Gears 5 in the Windows Store, that does not work on, well, that will work on Boosteroid. Now, if you didn't buy it, you got to subscribe to Gears 5. So before today, if you bought Gears 5 from the Windows Store, you couldn't play it on Boosteroid. But now you can play it on Boosteroid, but you got to buy it in the Windows Store or get it through a subscription on Windows Store. So if you bought it on Steam, where all PC gamers buy games, this means nothing to you. because you could already do this with Boosteroid. This is the 10-year deal. So basically, Microsoft spent 10-year deals to promote their trash-ass Windows Store. That's what this is. So this whole 10-year cloud gaming venture is to make their Windows Store cloud-friendly to other cloud services. There will be a test on this at the end. Okay? So subscribe to Game Pass PC, subscribe to Boosteroid, and then you could play the games on the PC that you bought the game on. Now, let me ask you another question, Grinders. The whole point of cloud to pay 1080p 60 frames a second is because you don't have a PC powerful enough to play that game, so you want to utilize the cloud. Let me ask you this. Why would you buy Gears 5 if you don't have a PC capable of playing it? These services are not giving you games. Game Pass is, but Boosteroid, Nvidia, those are not giving you games. They're just giving you cloud access to the games you own. Now, Nvidia, you could play it on more powerful PCs that you do have. They do have 4K and stuff. Boosteroid doesn't have that. They have 1080p. But it makes no sense. It's like the chicken or the egg. It's like, why would I own the game and have access to the cloud of it when I have Xbox Ultimate, which gives me the game, and I could play it on xCloud? Why would I sign up for Boosteroid? Subscriptions for subscriptions. This is the logic that they decided to do. You want to see people talking about niche. VR is niche. Portable gaming is niche. Who is going to be subscribing to subscribe to play a game that they own natively on their computer? Or they're subscribing to a game that they don't own and then pay a subscription on top of that subscription to play it on the same devices that subscription gives it to. I'm getting a friggin' headache. This makes no sense. This is almost as efficient as Android apps on PC, which that was a grand opening, grand closing on that one. They were hyping up Android apps on your Windows 11. And then guess what happened? Oh, yeah, we're done with that. We're done. Thanks for the 2 years. But what really grinds my gears is Boosteroid is Nick needs Tylenol. Hit that like button, grind. I know. Maybe the headache will go away. But the problem is that Microsoft is not for everybody. Phil is wrong when he says when we all win, when we all game or play, we all win. He's wrong with that. He's wrong because he's missing out on a huge, huge cloud service and shun them. And you know what I'm talking about. When we talking about Booster, you cannot forget about these Blacknut cloud. God damn. My Blacknuts. How can you forget about Blacknut cloud, Phil? They're right there, dangling in front of you, and you did not make a 10-year deal for Blacknut. You left Booster out there, but you left Blacknut hanging in the cold. How? I'm very upset, Phil. I thought you took care of everybody. That's right, Ryan. Blacknut got blue balled. When I saw Boosteroid, I was like, what about Blacknut? And then the Phil didn't do a 10-year deal with them. They were on the CMA's list. They were on their list. I don't know what happened. I don't know. but they were blue-balled. And the exclusive Grindhouse interview.
And I could just click and have the whole catalog here. That is cool because you can also play, for example, here on my iPhone. I can go directly to Blacknut and I could just click.
Excuse me.
The web app is cool because you can also play, for example, here on my iPhone. I can go directly to Blacknut and I could just click and have the whole catalog here.
The whole catalog. It's all on your iPhone right now.
iPhone. I can go directly to Blacknut and I could just click and have the whole catalog.
Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing?
I can go directly to Blacknut.
Everybody, pull out your phones. Go directly to Blacknuts on your iPhone. It's the cloud service that Phil denied. God damn. Phil, you know, I'm very upset with you. You left out Blacknut. Well, hopefully they get a 10-year deal. Because why wouldn't you? Because, trust me, if you could sign up for Xbox Game Pass and then give some money to Blacknut, dude, you're golden. What was that again?
No, we have the web app, we have the Android app. The web app is cool because you can also play, for example, here on my iPhone. I can go directly to Blacknut.
Philness.
Oh no! We suck again!
So, subscriptions for subscriptions, and Blacknut was left out. What a day. What a day. Very upset. Very upset. But, hey, what's up, Neil? How you doing, man? Oh, damn, Josh, pause. Oh, man. Hit that like button, grinders. Share it out. But, yeah, so that is the deal here with these cloud services. I don't know who thought that this was a good idea, but this was a fallout. This was a result of the ABK deal. And hence why I wanted to talk about these regrets and things that we did. Because I think a lot of people who are looking at now, especially when we are when we're basically looking at how Microsoft has shifted their games from now in the third party, putting their games directly on PlayStations and Switch. Now we see this as an accelerant of why their games were everywhere with Activision and how the rug was pulled from a lot of people. And there's a lot of regrets out there going, I thought these deals were one way and they turned out to be another way. So hit that like button. We're going to go into this now. Also, what I wanted to do is also plug the VIP grinders. And now we have the ultimate grinders tier. I just uploaded 2 brand new songs unreleased. I'm going to need the new ultimate grinders when you join up to vote on which one we're going to have on the show. So I'm going to plan to upload another couple of songs so we have a vote. And then, so if you want to be an ultimate grinder and you already have a VIP, upgrade and you'll get access to the unreleased playlists. And the 2 songs so far out there are Just Buy a PS5 and Farewell Jim. So those are the 2 songs up there. There's going to be another song, which I might win the vote. It's called Goo Goo Gaga Gaming. So that's a 3rd song that will be up there. But you do have access to that. True Virgil, you're right there by the balls. You're right there. You too could upgrade to an ultimate grinder too, Virgil. So just to let you know there. Twisted Sync with the 2, he goes, they have pivoted so hard that ship is flipped. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Thank you, True Virgil, for leading into that. So to kind of kick off this transition into the thing. Hey, Ice Cream Game, member 12-1, thank you so much. Farewell Jim sounds great, dude. It is a good song. It's alludes to a little bit of You know, just for the VIPs, for everybody coming on in here. Yes, Mr. Tennis. We got you could get the whole playlist. I'm putting the playlist of unreleased songs, but I want you guys to vote on it. So like the Ultimate Grinders, if you have a VIP, you could upgrade to the Ultimate Grinders and you'll get the whole playlist. And I'm going to be putting songs in there because I have crazy ideas and I've been putting them together, doing the lyrics, doing the stuff. So hopefully you like them. I've already sampled some. I put some out there already. So, we heard like the Phil Ness song at the end. We might close out with that one, but there are new ones
You're
coming.
my number one customer.
New ones coming. So, yes. And then when they vote on them, I'll play them and we'll release them. I'll do a video of them. And I'll have them up there. So I just need the Ultimate Grinders to vote on which ones they want next because I can't put them all out. I want the unreleased ones. But anyway, let's go. So what Twisted Sync was saying. So remember I was looking for the video, the list of what was going on. And there is something going on where I feel like the people that was celebrating, because if you remember, let's go back to the ZeniMax deal, right? When we went back to the ZeniMax deal, yeah, Michael, what's up? Share it out. Let everybody know that the Grindhouse is open. When we did the ZeniMax deal, everybody was like, oh, actually, no, it wasn't everybody. It was Phil Ness. It was Phil Ness.
If we're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. And that's our goal. That's why we're doing this. That's the root of this partnership that we're building. And the
He bought ZeniMax, and immediately it was like, oh, yeah. Xbox is going to make all ZeniMax exclusive, all that IP, the next Doom game, it was exclusives. But exclusives started to matter all of a sudden. All of a sudden, exclusives were mattering to people. Oh, they're going to buy a whole publisher, and they're going to get them exclusive. And Phil was there, legs crossed, chest out, going, we're going to put it where Game Pass exists. That's all I could say about right now. It's a case-by-case basis. And Phil is, there you go. It's all about exclusives now, right? It's about exclusives. And then Phil made his move. He comes out and he goes, okay. Redfall exclusively on Xbox. Oh, and Sarah, hit me with the horns. Starfield exclusive on Xbox. And everybody's like, oh my goodness, they bought $7 billion and make it exclusive. Dusty Bin over there, Cookie Monster himself, was all hyping Phil. Oh, what was he saying? He was like, I can see. What was he saying? What was Dusty saying? Dusty Bin. What was Dusty Bin saying? He was saying everybody was all about exclusives. It was the exclusive deal. Oh, yeah, I could see them paying $7 billion and making these games exclusive. Why not? Why not? You don't spend that kind of money and make things and put things everywhere. You got to make them exclusive. You got to build the platform up. You got to do all this stuff. Blah 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 blah. What did he say?
I'm actually not against exclusives. Period. I'm not against Final Fantasy being released on the PlayStation 5. Exclusives are bad.
Oh, see what happened? But exactly, Phil was flexing ZeniMax. Oh, it will be exclusive, Josh. Yes. The next VIP emoji. We're going to get him out there. But yeah, exclusives. It was all about this. It was all about Bethesda, all exclusives. Then, when the ink wasn't even wet, they go crawl up Big Booty Bobby. And they go say, we're going to pay you for your Activision because you're in trouble. And now, what was the first thing? What was the first thing that happened when Phil said in January of 2020, was it 2? We're going to buy Activision. What was the first thing that trended on the internet? Do I need to show it, Grinders? Do I need to show? What was it? If it was this thing, then you will be correct. Here it is. Get this thing out of here. I don't need my thumbnail right now. I want to highlight this. if you're correct, what was the first thing that came out? Who changed their logo to this when Phil said we're buying Activision? Mm-hmm.
Redfall got a lot of hate. It's not a bad game. It's, you know, a AA game at best. I would look at it like at a 7, maybe. You know?
Yeah, it's some joke right there. What? Uh-oh. You mean Crash Bandicoot that's available everywhere, once associated with PlayStation, now available everywhere? Why is he standing next to Aaron Greenberg? With the X sign nonetheless. Excuse me? Does that mean you're exclusive? What happened? X, Greenberg X, Marketing X, Crash X. Here it is. Everybody changed their logo to them next to Crash. Was it about putting your games everywhere when Phil crawled up Activision's ass and said we're going to buy them? Was he talking about putting games on Nintendo, putting games on Boosteroid? Was Phil talking about giving Ubisoft the cloud so everybody could play their games? Was it about Call of Duty on the Switches? Were they hyping that up? Phil said he called up PlayStation. They said they were fine with it. Jim Ryan was on the yacht, probably high as hell, and just like, yeah, Phil, 2 years, whatever, dude. Don't worry, we'll get your ass in court. But what did Greeny do? Look, trending all over the internet was this. But exclusives are anti-consumer. They are taking a franchise that's everywhere, and they were making it their own. Exclusive. Xbox. Greenberg owns Crash. This was in January when Phil just tweeted out they were going to buy Activision. 2 years later, finally it happened. But it was about exclusives, right? It was about taking what was once everywhere and putting it behind Xbox. And I thought bringing this image up reminds people of that. Because that's exactly what trended. And every Xbox fan had their Twitter or X, whatever the hell you call it, thing changed. Because they wanted Crash. And they knew it was a dig. Why Crash? You think if you put Ghost there from Call of... No, it was Crash because it was multi-platform, but it was always associated with PlayStation. It was a jab. Hey, I don't have a problem with it. Exclusives matter. And if that's the flex you're going to do for $70 billion, do it. See what happens. Let's do it. But they bitched out. And things changed over the next year and a half. And when that CMA came in there and said no, all of a sudden they need to jump. They had to go to a different tune. That's what they needed to do. Because now it was no longer about taking games away from multi-platforms. Because what they're doing is worse than just getting a timed exclusive for a year or so. Because they don't own it. And look what Sony was able to do without owning an ounce of Bethesda. And Aaron, what buzz did it create? A buzz for what? This is the problem. They build you up to knock you down. Because that buzz meant nothing. That buzz was empty bullshit. What buzz was it? What benefit did it do? So they trended for a day? They still suck. They still can't sell a console. They're still last. They're still...
Oh, no! We suck again!
So what buzz was that? See, in the search for W's, Aaron, maybe I should send you a shirt. For the search for W's, all you're going to get are L's. Because you're searching for the wrong W's. That's the problem. You're looking at the wrong things. That's not a win. Actually, it hurt them because... they made it look like that's their intent, but it wound up not. That's the problem. And see, that's the problem that you all built, is that you believed in this shit and thought that was a W. Meanwhile, the games weren't coming. Actually, 2022 was the worst year of games, following this bullshit of an icon. So now the CMA now comes in and tells them they got to change. They got to change. And now they have to think. They have to make 10-year deals with anybody that's breathing. They got to make 10-year deals with PlayStation. Then they got to go say Call of Duty is now going to be on a Switch. It hasn't been on a Switch in a decade. But let's put it on a Switch now so we look good. They did that without even talking to the devs. So now, when the story was once Aaron Greenberg grabbing ass with Crash Bandicoot, now it's about more people getting Call of Duty. So instead of taking away, they're adding more. That is a shift from what their initial intent was, especially if you see when Bethesda deal came up in court. They were going, well, why aren't you going to do the same thing with Call of Duty? You bought Bethesda and you told them to stop making the PlayStation games. You bought them to take games away. You bought third-party publishers to take away games from third-party and make them exclusive. Why are you not going to do this again? And they're like, I promise I won't do it. I promise, court. I won't do it. The two Utes. I won't do it. I promise. Well, the pivot began. And now they even had to give their cloud to Ubisoft for Activision games. And look at what that deal, I went over that Boosteroid deal. It completely dissolves xCloud. And if you look at under the thread, people are like, why would you do this to Boost? Why would you give Boosteroid your games when it's playable the same places as xCloud is? You're basically a redundancy. What kind of logic is that? It makes no sense. It makes no sense for your business. If you were trying to make xCloud a thing, you're shooting yourself in your own foot, because now you're basically giving the games that make your service unique and giving them to everybody else. So what uniqueness does you? Why do I have to come to you? Why do I have to come here when I could get all your shit over there? So explain that. And that's why they had to pivot. And when you look at these games that are coming out, Phil said in the interview on Valentine's Day Massacre, he said, hey, this stuff coming out now, like Pentiment and these things, these games coming out now are, what's up, SNK? These games coming out now, we were talking about this at the end of the year. Think about it. When did the Activision deal go through? At the end of the year. They didn't just port these games in January and now they're ready for this month. Pentiment was ready. No, these games were started being ported over to PlayStation at the end of the year. So they made this decision last year. They didn't make this decision in January. That's when the leaks came out. They made this decision end of last year to have them ready for now. They had to start building the ports at the end of last year. And Phil said it in the interview. Last year, we started planning this. What's up, Dog Zone? So they have decided to do this last year as the deal closed. So now we look at that Activision deal and people are like, why did they even do it? What a waste of time, money, and effort. Because they were so consumed with this deal. 2022 was a ghost town for games from them. They were so preoccupied with this stuff. You saw how desperate they were when the CMA blocked it, saying, we're going to pull out of the UK. Pause. They're going to pull out. Oh, hey, we're pulling out. Oh. Satya was crying. He was stuttering in the streets.
Everything that we are doing with our content, with our our cloud and community.
Phil was out in the streets playing love songs.
There's a land of make-believe where dreams collide.
Oh my.
There's a man with a vision.
Oh, sing it with me, grinders.
Deep inside.
They were so sad.
Promising the world with every game he creates.
Sing it, Aaron.
But beneath the surface is lies
away.
Ooh, yeah, realness. Now we see through the lies. The veil is lifted high.
Oh, so sad.
No more falling prey to the games he used to guide.
Oh my God, what a sad story.
We all become winners.
Light a candle, fill nets.
As his illusions crumble, the truth is delivered. Ooh, yeah.
Oh. Such a sad, sad song. Oh. Phil Ness. Oh. You were losing with 4th or 5th. Oh. So sad. Happened. And now, after you fought it, you fought the CMA. You're like, no, Lena Khan was enemy number 1. Enemy number 1. And that's a sample of the songs that you'll get over at the unreleased section. But anyway, Lena Khan was enemy number 1. They were throwing pitchforks. They were getting ready. But you know what? Let's listen to some tapes. Let's go to some tapes. Because this and this, we're going to talk about this. And one thing that I want to highlight before we get into something. Thank you very much. I applaud. Thank you. I'm gonna, since you guys can't put up the applauds, let's get the grinders here. Let's go. There we go. I forgot to play that at the end of the sad Phil Ness song. Such a sad song. Oh, it was down. Poor Phil Ness. So now we're sitting here and I was saying at the end of the year, after all this effort, after all this legal stuff, that's right, Lulu. Oh my goodness. Follow me, Lulu. Follow me. Oh, she's so sassy. Oh, she's such a sass. Follow me, Lulu. Oh, Lulu. 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 Oh, they were all over, man. They were tweeting. Oh, Lulu, tell me more. Tell me more. Give me more, Lulu. Oh, Lulu. Ooh, she liked my tweet. Every time she liked their tweet, they're like, on their little gaga. Oh, they got a little shiver inside. Oh yeah, they love that. They love that. They got all little. Lulu gave them all tingles inside, all tingly. They got all tingly inside. Phil would tingle them, but Lulu really tingled them. On their little goo gaga. They were playing with their little goo goo gagas. Everybody was playing with their goo goo gagas when Lulu liked their tweet. Taking pictures, the ladies, here I am. I said, I'm Sarah Bond. Get the hell. And then everybody they pulled out their. On their little goo goo gaga. Everybody on Twitter was playing with their goo goo gagas. They couldn't believe it. So now you're sitting here going, what a deal. And I said, I always said this. You heard this. Sony didn't have to go buy Bethesda or ZeniMax to get Deathloop and to get Ghostwire Tokyo exclusively. They didn't have to do that. Late Ice Queen. They didn't have to do it. They did not have to buy a whole friggin' publisher to bring games to their platform. Why does Microsoft? Because they're like, they got to. They're so bad. They got to spend $80 billion. This is for us. This is for the games. We need it. We have nothing without this. Remember how desperate they were. Remember, it was like, this deal has to go through. There's nothing else we can do about it. This is it. If without this deal, Xbox gaming is done. Xbox is over. Do you remember this? I'm sure you all, 300 of you remember this stuff. Hit the like button. You remember this. It was all this deal. Xbox has to do this deal. Without this Activision deal, if it falls through, Xbox is done. They can't do it. Phil said 2027, it's over. They were panicking that if this deal fell through, Microsoft had nothing. This was it. They were so desperate for it. They fought tooth and nail. They were following lawyers. Florian Miller doing 900 people in a space to talk about why the deal is good for everybody. What's his ass? Oh, it's $80 billion. That's remember, it wasn't a lot of money. Oh, it wasn't a lot of money. You know, that's pocket change, $80 billion. Oh, Microsoft got that. They're $2 trillion, $3 trillion. They can afford $80 billion. Oh, what happened? What happened? What happened? All of a sudden now, we're going to hear they got to make their money back. Wait, make their money back? I heard this was pocket change. Phil found $80 billion in his couch cushions. They're $3 trillion company. This was Phil's offshore money. This was his offshore money. He looked under his couch cushion and found $80 billion. He's like, oh, I forgot where I put this $8 billion. What happened? Yeah, Nick, the ponies woke a sleeping giant. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, Microsoft, be the behemoth that you are. $80 billion. Oh, man, Sony, you pushed the wrong people. You pushed the wrong people, remember? And it was all this. They need to compete. Oh my goodness, we need to compete. We need this. Oh my, we got all this stuff. Phil was gonna buy $80 billion in food stamps. Oh yeah, I found it in my couch cushion. It's no problem. This is pocket money, offshore
You're my
money.
number one customer.
I heard bootleg was like offshore money. Now all of a sudden they're gonna go put. Wait a second, guys. This is what we're doing. Pentiment, Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, and Grounded to stop making back the money from the Activision deal?
Sign me, please, I will bend over and touch.
Really? Really? That's how they make their money back? Everybody wants their Pentiment 120 frames. That's what's going to get the money back. Oh yeah, give them Pentiment. That'll give us some. We'll get $1 billion back from that one. Grounded. That's another $1 billion. We're chipping away at the $80 billion. What happened? All of a sudden now Microsoft has to get their money back. Uh-oh. What happened? The behemoth that they were, $80 billion in food stamps that Phil found in his couch cushions. Now they want it back? I said they did not have to spend this money. If it was about bringing you listening to this show, if it was about bringing you games to the platform that you love, they did this all already without even owning Epic and brought you 3 Gears of Wars. They bought you BioShock. They brought you Titanfall 1 without owning anything. They bought you goddamn Lost Planet. They brought you Dead Rising. They brought you Rise without owning Crytek or without owning Capcom. They brought you Sunset Overdrive without even owning Insomniac. You played and finished Sunset Overdrive without even owning that company. So why all of a sudden now it's $80 billion or bust for the ABK deal? Why? They need this. For what? And after all the regulations, it didn't look like they were able to take Crash and Run. They had to put their games everywhere. They committed. I'm sitting here going, they just committed Call of Duty 10 years on a friggin' Switch. They haven't been on Call of Duty for the last 10 years on a Switch. What the hell is Call of Duty going to look like on a Switch? Is that going to hold the game back? Parity complete? What, like, it's going to parity, feature parity? What's going to happen? What does that look like? Guess what? Spoiler, they don't even know. Microsoft has no clue because that deal wasn't done for the betterment of Call of Duty. That wasn't meant to make games better for you, the consumer. That was to appease the government, to appease a deal. Nobody ever even thought that. Hell, did you see even anybody asking? Is Nintendo going, well, where's Call of Duty? Is Call of Duty coming this year? Do you see anybody on social media, YouTube or Twitter, saying, is Call of Duty coming to the Switch this year? Does anybody even care? No, know what you hear? This is exactly what you hear, right here. That's what you hear. Shout out to T-Rock 40-2. He goes, Jez, what happened? Did something get announced? Nah. This was something that came up from just this whole putting their games everywhere and this ABK deal and now slapping them back in the face. SNK Kev with the 199. He goes, new song that you made reminds me of Top Gun. Oh, man. Yeah, it does have that romance. That's right, baby. That's the Phil Ness sad song. It's a very sad song. Crickets. Anybody? Yeah, I haven't seen one
number one customer
person for all the scrolling and YouTubes. I haven't seen one person ask, is Call of Duty coming to the Switch this year? Nobody cares. Nobody. What? Actually?
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
Jerry.
Nobody cares. So let all that sink in as you listen to this. Now, again, Bootleg Jazz, he called him the bootleg. He blocked me on Twitter, but Rand, he's good people. Rand's good people. And, you know, this, I'm just going to play what Jez was saying about this deal. And it's so incredible because it's like, where was this last year? Because he was suspect number one criticizing his own government, the CMA, and coming after Lena Khan saying that they don't know what the hell, why this deal was the best. He was capping so much for this ABK deal. He was going to disown his whole UK. And now this is what he has to say. And first, before he gets into that one, he talks about the Toys for Bob. And when Toys for Bob was leaving, about a better strategy on how Microsoft may approach their studios. And then we'll talk about it.
You know, originally it was like the office is being shut down. Everyone's like, oh my God, Microsoft shut Toys for Bob down. I was like one of the first people that broke that they weren't shutting it down because everyone was, you know, it was just the office closing, not the actual studio.
He gets into it here.
That's because someone from, you know, Activision reached out to give clarity on what was going on there. And you know, I was told that Toys for Bob were in discussions with Microsoft about the future direction of the studio, which a lot of Microsoft studios, you know, have actually been in these kind of discussions with Microsoft recently. So honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if you see maybe another studio go down this route in the future.
Shocking.
Because it does seem like similar to Embracer Group, Microsoft is looking to boost their profit margins a little bit, and Sony too, because one of the things that Sony does share, which Microsoft doesn't really share in the same amount of detail, is profit margins being shrunk. And if Sony's profit margins are struggling like they are, like, you have to expect that Microsoft is probably on a similar keel, if not worse. So, like, if this is about profit margins, it's like you say, there is a sort of impetus to figure out what the best possible outcome here is in a scenario where you do have a lot of costs and you have studios that don't have a lot of cash flow. And cash flow in this context pertains to the ongoing sale of evergreen games. So, like, for example, Skyrim would be what I would consider to be evergreen game that still sells today, or a GTA 5 or something like that. And also you got, like, with regards to Bethesda, you've got Elder Scrolls Online that subsidizes which cash flows all those health insurance payments and the salaries and the other costs and the rent and all that kind of stuff. But if you've got a Toys for Bob that doesn't necessarily have a lot of games to their name, and I feel like this Crash Rumble game was an attempt to potentially get some of that ongoing revenue going to make get the studio in a healthier place from a cash flow perspective. And for that to fail, it kind of puts them in a difficult position. It's kind of like, well, how can we resolve this, right? So to that end, I suppose one of the things Microsoft could do is be like, yeah, we'll, rather than shut the studio down, because
now they're shutting down studios this is Toys for Bob, the people they just bought.
We do want to use these franchises. We do want to use Crash, and we do want to use Spyro. And if you look at I believe personally that they're working on Spyro right now. And if you look at the tease that they put in the letter at the end, it was like, keep your whole, then instead of,
here we go,
us paying for all that stuff, like, you get the sales of the next Spyro, and maybe we'll do a Game Pass deal. And, on that end as well, and the Game Pass deal, which, probably have milestones attached to it, will be what cash flows the business. And it's probably like, if they were part of Microsoft, then it's sort of like the dynamics are a bit different, isn't it? It's like, it's more investment on top of what they've already invested in Activision to get Call of Duty in the first place. And from what I heard, yeah, they did not like being a Call of Duty subsidiary, essentially, and it's not why a lot of the devs got involved in that studio in the first place, was to not work on Call of Duty and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is the part. Sort of, it's the best possible.
And True Virgil's saying, how is he wrong? No, True, he's saying exactly what I said before the Activision deal. You don't need to own the whole studio and pay for all those people and own them just to get games. And that's exactly what he's saying. He's saying the same exact thing. Well, guess what? They could just let go Toys for Bob, just have them make a Game Pass game, and we'll just sign a deal. How's that any different? That's exactly what Sony's doing. That's exactly what Microsoft used to do. They didn't have to own then why would they have to go spend $80 billion just to do that? It goes into it. Watch.
Possible outcome, I think. It's the best possible outcome.
It's the best possible outcome.
There is also, like, there'll be other studios that probably will be looking at this, and probably Microsoft too will be looking at the studios and thinking, are there other studios that we could enter into these kind of discussions with, where instead of being internal, we fund them as an external studio with the Game Pass, like as a second party, or under a publishing deal, where we give them some upfront cash, and then they're sort of motivated to hit those milestones, because when they hit milestones, they get more cash. More cash gets released if they hit their milestones, and the milestones might be like, okay, you got to have a working prototype by this month. You get your next round of cash injection. You got to have the demo, the gameplay demo by this day, and then you get a cash flow.
You mean second party deals?
Your marketing beats, whatever, another cash flow injection, and that's how, like, Microsoft has produced games via Xbox Global Publishing, and how I suspect they'll continue to do it. And it's probably cheaper for Microsoft. It gives those studios more autonomy, and potentially, and this will be similarly to how Ori and the Will of the Wisp worked, you know, and Ori and the Blind Forest, where Moon Studios was an external studio, and then they would have hit milestones, they would have got the cash injection, and then eventually they ended up with arguably one of the best products that Xbox has put out in the last couple of decades.
Hold on.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Are we in the Twilight Zone?
Holy Spirit,
Sam C says we're in the Twilight Zone.
Holy Spirit, activate. Activate. Activate.
Did we not just go through 2 years of acquisitions of why they need, and nobody could ever explain why do they need to own the whole entire publisher? Why? Why do they need to own any of this stuff? If now the smart thing to do is just to let them go independent and make deals with them, like second party deals. And but when Sony does it, it's anti-consumer exclusives. Oh, like the Final Fantasy. You want to play Final Fantasy everywhere. Why would you have to go buy a whole ass publisher in order to then now look at the studios and start going, all right, well, we don't need you anymore. We don't need you anymore, but make us a game still. What the? If that was a smart idea, then where was this idea when we were screaming, when you were screaming at the CMA and why this deal needed to happen? I don't understand it, because that's exactly what I was saying. You don't need to own the entire publisher to bring games to Xbox. If they really want a Crash game, they could have said, hey, Bobby, here's $1 billion. Tell Toys for Bob, make us a Crash game exclusive. Thank you very much. And there you go. No courts, no ownership, no overhead, no layoffs, nothing. Did Sony have to buy Square Enix? Did Sony have to buy Arrowhead to bring you Helldivers 2? No. Did Sony have to go buy Koei Tecmo to bring you Rise of the Ronin? Did Microsoft have to buy Insomniac to bring you Sunset Overdrive? But when you said that last year, you were a hater. You were a hater. You were against the ABK deal, and you were a pony. But it was facts. You don't need to buy a whole-ass publisher to bring games to your platform. You don't. It's the truth. And now they got all this IP, and now they got to find how to get their money back. And now they're just shipping it elsewhere. And that Jeff B. Gaiman says it's for the IP publisher to get into Game Pass. But Jeff, how are they going to get it into Game Pass if they're not making the game? They got to make a game to put into Game Pass. What IP you put in Game Pass? Legacy? Legacy? You're going to put like what, the old ass games in Game Pass? You got to have somebody to make that. And if Toys for Bob is going independent, who's making it? Microsoft's going to make themselves? But my point is that this whole publishing shit and this acquisition, season of acquisition, buy them, buy this, buy this. Why? And now they're seeing all this acquisition, and I said it for friggin' years. There's something else. It's not about bringing games to us. These deals, because they used to do it without this. It's not about bringing games. But listen, there's more. Because now he goes on to talk about how all these hopes and dreams.
Creative entity is hard. And, you know, and when you start adding corporate stuff into the mix, it can be creatively stifling. Some studios thrive in that environment, but other studios won't. And it's like...
And wait, just to finish Jeff B. Gaiman's second part, you know, because third party don't care about Game Pass. You're right, Jeff. But the thing is that means that they're making games to put into Game Pass. But if they are now looking at these studios and going, go independent, we'll do a deal with you. What was the purpose of all that? They got to make the games. And it doesn't look like Crash is now. Everybody's like, listen to it yesterday.
It works for anything that's creative, I think. But I just don't. I don't want to ignore any other takes on it. So take this as informed speculation, I would say, and I would take the idea that other Xbox studios could do this. That's pure speculation on my end.
Oh, he has to damage control that because people will run with that.
Some studios have looked at what's been going on and thought.
But I could probably guarantee you that
too.
Microsoft,
we don't know for sure, but
yeah.
I think there's a higher
the Call of Duty machine.
So I guess it was just
this part.
And the salaries are set on the basis of there's going to be an annual card. It's going to sell at least this many copies. You can't just be like, oh yeah, we're not doing that anymore. We don't need to do that anymore because we're Microsoft or whatever. That's not how businesses work, you know.
So he's saying here that
I guess,
Call of Duty needs to stay the course. They can't shake up Call of Duty because they need that money. They need that money, so they can't shake up Call of Duty. They got to leave it status quo where it is. So all this hope that they're going to fix this and make it better, and because that's all I heard, they were going to make it better. Activision doesn't know what they're doing with Blizzard. You know, Microsoft knows how to fix this. Mm-hmm.
It was just a lot of hopium, and you know, and I suppose a lot of this stuff's hopium. It's like me hoping, you know, to get you know, what they're going to do with Warcraft, and they're going to make like a Warcraft 4, for example, RTS. So they're going to bring that back. I think StarCraft's a shoo-in because I kind of feel like in my interview with Phil from, was it December? I think, or was it January?
So it was all hopium. But people were using that as propaganda
number one customer.
as to why this deal needed to happen last year. And they capped so much for this deal. They took that hopium that they were going to fix this and do this and make new games and Crash Bandicoot, and then Toys for Bob was going to make Banjo. All this was hopium. And I'm like, who said that? Nobody confirmed that. Nobody said that's what they're going to do. And it wasn't like Microsoft wasn't talking on their behalf. They were. They committed Call of Duty to Switch before they even owned them. But people are like, oh, they're going to make Banjo. Who? Toys for Bob's are going to make Banjo. This deal needs to happen. They turned their hopes into justification. Yeah. Warcraft 4. Well, those dreams turned into hopium when he found out how they just derailed Blizzard and gutted that thing. But they turned their hopes, their dreams, the comeback that Microsoft was going to have into a reality and a justification of why this deal needed to happen. And now they got greeted this year with the rug pulled from underneath them. And Microsoft says, you know what? We got to put our games everywhere to make back all this money that we just spent. And now, the beast incarnate, the monster that eats monsters for breakfast, the company that found $80 billion offshore in their couch cushions, and the $1 trillion company is now begging to make money back. And they're starting with putting their games on the Switch and PlayStation. And you think Pentiment is going to make that money back? If it's about return of investment, all of a sudden, we are on ROIs. All of a sudden. Last year, it's Phil's pocket money. It's Satya's couch cushion money. They are trillions of dollars. They have unlimited funds. Dude, they had unlimited funds for Ninja Theory to make Hellblade 2 astronomical, a 13-hour incredible campaign, open world, co-op, all new fighting. No. All the money in the world, and they go, it's shorter, and it looks the same. Same combat. They better have different puzzles. This is what they do. And they spent Daddy Warbucks' money and realized they have nowhere to make it back. And I just explained the Boosteroid deal. How does Microsoft get that money back? If you're already an Xbox Ultimate subscriber, why would you subscribe to Boosteroid? If you're already Boosteroid, why, and you're getting your games from Steam, why would you subscribe to Xbox? It makes no sense. It's redundancy. But now they got to make their money back. Uh-oh. That's why they're doing this. Uh-oh. This is what I don't understand. All logic was out the window when these deals were going through. People were going crazy outside of courtrooms, shouting his name. Phil, oh man, they were like, when they saw Phil Spencer in the tuxedo, in the suit, oh my God, that guy was like,
Phil Spencer! Phil Spencer! Phil Spencer! Phil Spencer, baby, let's go! Yes! Yes!
You're my #1 customer.
oh, there he is. He's wearing a suit. It went crazy. And if you spoke logic and was like, you know what? Why are they doing this? What is the purpose? After the CMA blocked it, they should have just walked away. Because now they needed to divest and divulge everything that they had in order to get this deal. And they thought that this deal was more important than bringing you games. And now, and that's why there was such pushback in January and February and now, and seeing people, diehard fans, pissed because they capped for all this stuff. They thought this was for them, and it wasn't for them. And now Phil's sitting there with all this IP, and he's going, you know what? I'm sharing it with the competition now. And everybody's like, but why would you even do this then? Like, and I said there was a reason why they had to buy a whole ass publisher. Because they wanted to make money on the back end, not for Xbox. And actually accelerated the death of the console. Because the biggest thing that they found during that ABK deal was that the Xbox console was the Achilles heel. That thing was the reason why Sony was involved. That was the reason why the government agencies were against this deal, because they said you have a platform to take this stuff and put it on there and outsell competition. Even though that knew that wouldn't happen, but they had a potential. And you just did it with ZeniMax. You took that and you took those games off of your competition to boost yours. So why am I going to prove this one where now the biggest Call of Duty, you could pull that from them? And that was their plan. But then when they blocked it, they said, we can't do this. And when Sony and Jim Ryan cried his ears off, and Lulu calling him out, that drew attention that Sony didn't want this. And that made Microsoft have to do these 10-year deals. See, you don't realize. But Jim, Gordon Ramsay, Ryan cooked them. You call it crying. It was all to draw attention to them. And he got 10 years out of the deal now, where it was 2. And he didn't want the deal to go through. And because of that, it made Microsoft have to now make a 10-year deal with Nintendo. See, that was the reasoning. It's because their competition spoke up. And Microsoft then had to divest all the IP, all the stuff. And now their console is so small, they can't make this money back. And now they got to put it on other platforms. And you could say, listen, PC and mobile are different platforms. But when you're taking your shit and you're going across the street and giving it to your neighbor, the person that, when you say console, all of a sudden it's like, oh, PC's console. No, the three of them, Xbox, Nintendo, and Sony, and you're taking your stuff. That's like Nissan taking their shit and walking right across going, oh, this isn't a Nissan Sentra. This goes into your Honda Accord. Here you go. That's like apples to apples. You're putting your stuff over there. That's not Nissan going, oh, we're going to put this feature in a monster truck somewhere. That's your PC. No, you are giving that directly to somebody that is in direct competition with you. That's like putting your headphone feature in another headphone. That's not putting your headphone feature in speakers or in a TV. So they need to do this. And people are like, oh, yeah, they need to do it because they got to make their money back. All of a sudden, they got to make their money back. Last year, they're the richest company in the world. Now they got to make their money back. Interesting. SNK with the 2, he goes, COD peaked in 2009. Modern Warfare 2 when it went down. Yeah. Call of Duty, and what's interesting is what he's saying in there is that they got to keep the lights on for Call of Duty. They can't change this. The Nissan engine and Toyota bodies here, so exactly. Like, they can't change this. Like, they can't. They need to make their money back. Like, they can't change Call of Duty and go, you know what? It's going to be every 3 years. We're going to fix it. We're going to add. We're going to do. They can't rattle the ship because Call of Duty's bringing in money. That's the money they're banking on to make back from the deal. So all the hopes and hopium of dreams that Call of Duty is going to be magically changed and be better. It's not. Hell, it might get even cheaper so they can make their money back faster. They might just give some bullshit in there to kind of just like what they did last year. That wasn't them, but who knows? You know what? Give them some DLC for $70. We might get less for more because Microsoft could get their money back. But I think they're not going to destroy it like that. Like, they need to keep this thing alive because they got to make their money back. Twisted Sync with the 5. It goes, and now they want Sony to go full third party as well because of this mess. F out of here. Exactly. But what, and this is the thing, like, what value does Sony have to say, oh, look at that 27 million of console owners that saying yesterday, Stalker was announced, Stalker, the first ones. And guess what? You could buy each of them for $20. They weren't in Game Pass. Stealth Drop. They weren't in Game Pass. And you want to know what? Nobody talked about it. Hype for Stalker 2, though, right? Everybody's hyped for Stalker 2. But Stalker 1 just dropped. But because it's not in Game Pass, yeah. What happened? And let's go see. Let's go. Let's take a little rundown here. Let's see. Yeah. $12 with the $40 they have it listed. All the people. Is it in Game Pass? Is it in Game Pass? Why is it not in Game Pass? Oh, yeah, that looks like a great market to go put a game in. As soon as a game gets announced for Xbox, it's like, is it in Game Pass? Freeloading dopes. Is it in Game Pass? Yeah. Let's go take a $70 game and put it over there. Is it in Game Pass? That's all they asked about. And nobody talked about it. This should be hyped. Stalker 2 in Game Pass. They're so hyped, right? Nah, dude. Nobody cares. They don't care. But why would you even put that over there? It's such a, and the problem is that it's such a small install base. Microsoft did nothing for themselves. They didn't sell that console. They made a $700 SpongeBob. Probably made 5 of them. They sold out in 2 minutes. Like, they're not, if they would have had a strong console install base, there may have been some justification of making games go elsewhere. Or they may have even been able to sustain their purchases because they had a large audience. But because their audience dwindled as they were exploring this stuff. What's up, Cosmic Hero? As they were exploring this stuff, because they made their install base dwindle, they had nothing to fall back on after spending $80 billion. They had nothing to fall back on. And then, to go back to Dusty Bin, and about how the conversation now is exclusives, and we already said, this whole Activision deal, this Bethesda thing, it was all about buying third-party publishers to take games away from PlayStation and Nintendo, to take games away. Thank you, Ryan. New song coming up. It was all with the intent that Microsoft was going to win by being the beast that they are and buying and spending Sony out of business. They can't make deals anymore because we own the publishers. That sounds like an exclusive strategy to me, doesn't it? That sounds like exclusives matter then, doesn't it? Because that was the whole point. To buy publishers to take games away, which they did with Starfield and Redfall. Buy the publisher, take it away from Sony, and put it on our platform, in our service. Come to us. Just buy an Xbox. And was anybody saying exclusives are anti-consumer or buying a whole ass publisher to own them and control? Anybody? Anybody come out? Little Dusty Bin, did he come out and be like, well, I don't agree in exclusives. Exclusives and, anti-consumer. Oh, really? How about buying a whole ass publisher and telling them to stop making games? How about buying a third-party publisher and telling them to stop making games for their competition? That sounds like real friggin' anti-consumer. Not somebody like Final Fantasy coming up to you and going, you know what? Let me tell you a little story. With focused development, we're even back to, you approached us with developing for a single piece of hardware. We're able to meet the maximum that we can do. Back in the console generation, he goes, to focus on third party, releasing games made outside studios. We were able to focus, Todd Howard said it, focus development for a console. Makes it better for you. That's anti-consumer? That anti-consumer?
Yes, I would like to have a refund.
Is that anti-consumer? It's anti-consumer if you are port begging or you're crying because you bought a different console. Now it's anti-consumer. But all I call that is salty. Chad, salty. Yeah, you're salty. Then go buy it. I thought you play on everything. That's how you start your conversations. You play on everything. So if it's not on your platform, go play on everything then. Because that's how every Xbox fan starts their conversation. I play on everything. So if the game is on the other thing, then go play it over there. What are you crying about? The point is that Phil made it that you have to play on everything because he ain't delivering shit on the thing that you like. Don't you see? Don't you see? You need to go buy a PS5 because Xbox ain't giving it to you. And the fact that you had to go buy a PS5 should be a head scratcher going, oh shit, why do I need this? I should just be satisfied with my Xbox. That's how I was. When I had the Xbox 360, when I had the beginning of the Xbox One, I didn't want a PlayStation. I didn't need one. Xbox took care of me. They gave me my arcade games. They gave me online. They gave me the Gears. They gave me the Halos. They got the Call of Duty map packs. Exclusives. And they got the multi-platform games. They had all the stuff. I was fine. I was fine in their ecosystem. But when that ecosystem started drying up and they started not caring about that, I had to go explore. And now you got a PlayStation platform that nonetheless plays the games better, has the VR, has the adaptive controllers, has the triggers, has all the features there, and now also has the games that take advantage of that. Now what's hilarious is that Sony's still talking about that surround sound audio that they used, but meanwhile, leading up to the Series X, it was all about Dolby Atmos, which wound up being a friggin' app that you have to buy. Remember it was Atmos versus Sony's spatial audio? Well, Sony's supporting their spatial audio. Those Pulse Elites are bangers. Go get them for $150. That's a definite. $150. They're comfortable. They sound great. The Pulse Elites, get them. Microsoft is partnering with Tweedledee and Tweedledum to get headphones for their system, and they gave you a wired, cheap-ass goddamn Xbox headset. Mr. Dolby Atmos. Dolby Pass. Exactly, Ryan. Dolby Pass. Dope-ass pass. Everything's a friggin' pass. Everything's an app. But the fact that you got to go buy a PlayStation 5 and say you play on everything means that they're not delivering what they're supposed to deliver. It's fine to play on everything. It's fine. But the fact that you got to make it a point to declare that means that one of those is failing you. And you don't need an Xbox. You don't. What desirable game do they have? It's about the games. What do they have? No. But the fact that all these Xbox guys had to go get PlayStation 5s proves the point. They'll come off as a neutral, but they're not. Because they'll celebrate if the games come to Xbox, or complain if it's not on Xbox. If you could play it right now, what the hell are you complaining about? It's about the games. It's about the promises that this stupid company made to us as gamers. And they take advantage of ignorance, and we're not ignorant. They're trying to shop their shit around, their bullshit, their filness, to people that don't understand and think they could take advantage of them in their money pockets because they don't know any better. That's why we're here, to educate people to know better. Be a smart consumer. See the options that are out there and vote with your wallet. That's what you do. You don't sit there and port beg because it's not coming. And whatever Sony deal they sign or whatever thing, all you know is that you can't play Final Fantasy right now, and it's friggin' incredible. And you want to sit and wait, and you want to just sit and wait and all this other stuff, get ahead. But I can tell you right now, if you could sit here right now and just say, I'll wait for Final Fantasy, spoiler alert, then you don't give a shit about Final Fantasy. Because if you really did want to play it, you would play it. So all those are like, I'll wait for 2 years. I'll wait a year. I'll wait. And guess what? You weren't going to buy it anyway. So wait. Because I'm not. If there's a game I want to play, if Microsoft had that showcase yesterday and showed me an incredible game, I'll go buy an Xbox tomorrow, today, to say, oh, I want to play that. But they haven't done that. And not just this year, for a half a decade, they haven't done that. And then the games that they deliver on PC, on consoles, are always missing, not fully realized issues. You can't even get the games right, which are the most important part. But the thing is that exclusives. Exactly, Thrifty. Shout out Thrifty. Watch his show last night. He had an awesome show. He had Folky on. We got to get Folky in the gaming grindhouse too. We got to get him over here. But Thrifty had a good show last night. Go watch his show. But when you look at this and you see exclusives are anti-consumer, exclusives don't matter, then nobody would, and said by the people like Dusty Bin, Cookie Monster himself, and Mr. Yellow Chair. Don't let me say it.
Mr. Yellow Chair.
Look at what they said. They were all about this deal. And exclusives mattered. It was a great idea. Oh, yeah, you spend all that money, bring it to us. This is great for the Xbox. It's great for Game Pass. You heard the podcast. But my thing is, if exclusives didn't matter, then nobody would have even cared about all these acquisitions. Nobody would have cared about Bethesda Cinemax deal. Nobody would have cared about Call of Duty. Nobody would have cared when Greenberger run around with this. If exclusives didn't matter, if exclusives were anti-consumer, then none of this for the last 3 years would have mattered. So that's how you know they're lying through their teeth with this exclusivity. Because those clowns, that media, that crew was the first ones with this propaganda. the first ones talking about how this benefits Game Pass and it benefits Phil and benefits Xbox. Oh, it all benefits now. But guess what? Now that they pulled the rug underneath you and putting their games everywhere, now you just want Sony and Nintendo to do the same. And that's another point. How the world is not going after Nintendo for exclusivity. I don't know why they're going after Sony. At least Sony put some of their games on PlayStation to give somebody a chance. Or I mean to put them on PC to give somebody a chance. Ghost of Tsushima, go play it. I see people, I can't wait. Where were you? 3 years ago. I beat the game and Iki Island. But how the hell are they coming after Sony when Nintendo is sitting on the golden throne of exclusivity? They're the ones that people should be going after if exclusives are anti-consumer. And on top of that, how the hell, if you want to talk about exclusives are anti-consumer, Dusty Bin, then I guess Nintendo should have people outside their headquarters with pitchforks and torches, because they are the most anti-consumer company if exclusives are anti-consumer. Then Nintendo shouldn't be selling. Nintendo should be face down, ass up somewhere in the ET hole. Everybody should hate Nintendo because they are anti-consumer, because they are exclusive. Really? But we're going to talk about PlayStation and Final Fantasy, and that's bad deals. Ghost of Tsushima, like these games that they're putting on PlayStation, they're putting on PC. But Nintendo, nobody wants to touch that one. Well, let me tell you this. If Nintendo's selling so well, then I guess they're not anti-consumer. If the Switch still beats Xbox, I guess it's not anti-consumer, because if it was anti-consumer, then consumers wouldn't be buying it. This is not incredible thought. This is common friggin' sense. Exclusives matter. You're the one who needs to justify why you even matter, because your opinions suck, and you have no value in your opinions because you're lying. And exclusives don't matter. They're anti-consumer, but then they're great, but then they're not. You're the one that needs to find relevancy, because everybody else has. And everybody is doing fine. Because if exclusives were so bad, then Nintendo would be where Microsoft is. Oh, damn. Hit me with the song. Oh, my. And they're begging for Helldive. Look at these charts. You want to shout the Zoobs. Look at these. Look at these numbers. These are ridiculous. Look. Here's your pie chart, Microsoft. There it is. Tell me. All the lies in the world can't buy you shit. This is what you got. And you're spending $80 billion to win? Look where you are. And who's the one that has the exclusives? What companies have exclusive games that are worth a damn? Quality exclusives. Look at Sony and Nintendo. Last year, total market. And look what Microsoft is. And who's the one that's spending $90 billion to try to buy relevancy And nobody during that time of Microsoft spending that money, not one stupid influencer said, guys, look how small they are. Satya said they suck. Satya, tell them again.
Everything that we are doing with our content, with our our cloud and community. Close of Activision, Blizzard, and King, we think that now we have the ability to really do what we've always set out to do, which is build great games and deliver them to folks across all platforms, right?
Yeah. Tell me again how Sony needs to put their shit on Microsoft. Look at that market share. Oh, yeah. We need that 10%.
Very best work in gaming. It's a core business for us. But games to more gamers on all platforms. Edison, which is doing more with less. Everything that we are doing with our content, with our our cloud and community.
If we're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. And that's our goal. That's why we're doing this. That's the root of this partnership that we're building, and the creative.
The close of Activision, Blizzard, and King, we think that now we have the ability to really do what we've always set out to do, which is build great games and deliver them to folks across all platforms, right? Which is Xbox or and consoles, the PCs, and now even including mobile gaming and cloud gaming. So we're excited about the best work in gaming. It's a core business for us.
You suck. But let's get to the songs.
Everybody's moving like they just
look at those numbers, Phil.
Shaking it up, breaking it down, we're on fire.
Turn
Come
it
on
up.
and join it. It's a part of your desire. Dance to the beat of Phil's dancing. Come on, let's go. Feel the music pulsing through your soul. Forget your worries, let the rhythm take control. Get up, get down, it's time to lose control. In the city, see the lights up the skyline, where the dreams of great games are still only dreams. Nothing but lies, tonight is alive. We're just living in a Game Pass paradise. We're dreaming of the consoles, dancing in the courts, sipping on Xbox tears. We're playing with your hearts. In this Xbox city where the magic fails, we're caught up in the bullshit, the lack of our game sales.
Oh, baby. Dance to the beat of Phil Spencer. There you go. That's right, baby. Turn it up. Turn it up. You want more of that music? I got them all, baby. Woo! Those VIPs in there. Get those grinders, ultimate grinders. You want them. Taste it. I'm gonna have a new one there. I got a new one to me. I got them. We got them. But anyway, there you go. I gotta Phil's flute solo. I gotta do that. I'm gonna make a flute solo there. But yeah, I do. Like, seriously, this is what they got. This is what they got. Oh, whoa, wait a second. What kind of Disney pop? Oh, come on, True. Did you hear the other jam? True Version wants some serious nut banging music. Oh man, True Version, not like this. Not like this, True. What kind of Disney music is it? It doesn't sound like a Disney music. Oh, goodness gracious. But anyway, you know, let's see if Phil knows about this one. Now, we'll see. That's better than Game Pass on my PC. But anyway, like, yo, dude, like, seriously, look at this. This is where, I mean, relevancy. And they're the ones that spent $80 billion. And not one person said, hey, how are they going to make their money back from? Nobody asked about why are they spending so much. We talked about it so many times on here going, guys, the ink is not even wet. And they're buying another company for $80 billion. That's right, Lewis. Secret DJ. But seriously, like they didn't even do it. And nobody said, they're like, oh, the richest company in the world. No problem with them. No problem. Now it's a problem. Uh-huh. True Virgil wants something a little deep. Hey, True. Guess what, guys? I'm going to leave you with another Grindhouse banger. You could catch this one. This one I released. I released this one, but you'll get more of this. So let's put this one on there. For those who haven't watched it yet, while you're here, we have over 300 people, man. Hit that like button. We're going to give you a Grindhouse Productions right here if you haven't seen it yet, but I do think this one's kind of good. This is what's going on over there. You don't buy studios to make games. Just make great games. Tell them about it, Booty. Come on now. Booty Finger in the house. Trash Finger. He controls it all now.
That's the way it goes. Booty bouncing from the studio. Trash Finger in tow. Making quality suck, but Phil says it's a go. Game Pass got my back, it's alright or die. Even with Trash Finger, I'ma touch the sky. Oh yeah, booty bounce, Trash Finger quality. Ooh yeah, Game Pass got my back, don't you see? Booty bounce, Trash Finger quality. Oh yeah, Phil says it's okay. It's all for the Game Pass to lead.
There you go, the booty bounce. The booty bounce. To be booty scoping. But yes, grinders, if you see it, so like right here, I have them here. So like the ultimate grinders will get access to these songs, and then they will vote on these to see. The ultimate grinders will vote on these to see what we'll put, and we'll get this kind of treatment on the next show. So if you want to be an ultimate grinder, upgrade your VIP or sign up for the ultimate grinder tier, and you'll get these playlist songs, and I get making new ones for you to vote on, so you make the show that you want to listen to. So grinders, I want to thank you again for coming through on this impromptu gaming bite or reacting show, whatever I want to call these things. That's what they are. But hey, man, I just was in shock. All this stuff, Activision deal, we got plenty to talk about. I'll see you down on Helldivers 2. I'm playing that Final Fantasy. Enjoy it all, and you know what? I'm feeling good tonight. Let's do our Game Pass outro here, and hit the horns. Anyway, thank you again, grinders. Hit that like button, share it out on the way out, and I'll talk to you soon. See you later.
And Psychonauts 2. New games are coming fast. 12 minutes in Hades, and they're all on Game Pass.
That's right.
What to play first?